Hey, what's going on, fellow currency lovers? Welcome to Variety and Errors. Let's get into a bill search video. So I had a little bit of a delay over the last couple weeks of putting out videos. I do apologize. I was in the middle of the fun activity of moving. Yay! But not so much. Moving like never gets more fun. But that's neither here nor there. Let's jump right into it with a Series 2017 $1 note. We're just running through the old pocket wallet money. I'm going to talk about what to look for and what you can find that's collectible and hopefully more valuable than the face value on the banknote. So first off, I like to look at the seals and the serial numbers, see if there's any patterns in the serial numbers or misprints in the seals. Doesn't seem to be so much with this bill. We'll bring it a little bit closer. Now, last video, it seems like it was like an eon ago. We had a really good shifted seal note. So if you're interested or if you've come across a shifted seal or a shifted print, then you can check that video out to get some info on it. Nothing to talk about as far as $1 notes design. They haven't changed since the 50s. And nothing on that one. If we would have had a 6 in here, instead of an extra 1, we would have had a broken ladder. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That would have been awesome. Series 2009, $1 note. Same deal, I like to check out the seals and serial numbers. One interesting thing is how the bills are printed in a 3-stage printing process for U.S. currency. And you can usually tell this very easily by, one, the type of material, which is cotton and linen, that the bills are printed on, but also you'll notice that sometimes you come across bills that the seals and serial numbers are nice and bright, but the rest of the bill is really dulled out from being in circulation. That's due to the intaglio printing process in the second phase of the printing, where some of the portions of the note are printed in the note instead of being printed on the note. So, nothing else going on the back. Sometimes you'll get a little bit of issues around the various depictions on the seal, the front of the seal or the back of the seal. There's a lot of references to 13 for the original 13 colonies in the United States. And sometimes those lines get blurred on the shield that the eagle has in front of it. And also in the arrows that it clutches in its talon. Here we go. Nice little overprint or excessive ink print. And we have an off digit here. So this is a stuck digit. What's really interesting about this one is typically we call them ticker or odometer notes because you'll see that the last digit is up or down. That's when the little spinning dial that rotates during the printing process to put down the new serial number, bill after bill after bill, is improperly greased or just gets gummed up. In this case, it was this 2 here. So that's a lot less common to see when you see digits out of place, although it's just slightly. But you can notice that pretty easily. It's not the same on this left-hand side serial number, so it only happened on the rotating die for this serial number. But I'm going to set that aside just because I like little errors like that, although this bill is pretty beat up. And going through Series 2017 also. Nothing in the serial number. What about the back of the note? Now, this little portion that looks like a thumbprint, that's actually just a wet ink transfer from when they first print the note, and they stack them all together. They're still wet sometimes, and it transfers a little ink, generally from Washington's coat, onto the back of the bill that sits atop it. So if you're wondering what that is, or you think it's like a ink smear, it's actually just a really common thing that happens. Pretty good shifted note here, or shifted seal rather. Usually you want this to sit atop, kind of touching this chevron that makes the center of the E. But this one's still in acceptable range as long as it's sitting atop the word 1, then you're pretty okay. It's not considered an error or misprint. And nothing there. Lots of 1s in this. I think I got, a little mixture of bills, but we'll see. Oh, well, I left some off the stack here. So we'll just pull them right into the old video. And Series 2017, this one's actually in a lot better condition than these other ones we've touched so far. This one is sitting a little high, but once again, acceptable. We were really close to another broken ladder if we would have had a 5 here or here instead of another 8. And there's a little dot misprint in the middle of that 9, but unless it's smeared out or it's not able to be read, then once again, I don't believe, in my opinion, that you should consider it an error. Now, a $10 note. Series 2017A. So multiple series to the can't speak today. 2017 printings. Nothing in the serial number. Pretty good looking $10 note. Really nice depiction of the U.S. Treasury. That's a really fun tour to take if you're interested in U.S. history or just seeing kind of, historical buildings. Although if you've traveled outside of the U.S. or you live outside the U.S., there's many buildings that are much older than, well, the whole country. But the U.S. Treasury building is really neat, and it plays a pivotal role in the banking infrastructure and financial infrastructure of the United States. So it's a really, really neat thing to learn about. 2017 series also. Let's see, nothing jumping out there. Lots of over ink. That's all wet ink transfer a lot of the time and what it looks to be on this bill. This has been folded in the middle and across, folded both ways. So it's probably folded up and stuck in a wallet as like a backup dollar or something. Nothing there. All this stuff was in my pocket, so, you know, when you watch these videos, don't expect it all to be massively mint condition or anything. It is circulated notes. I mean, that's the whole point of these videos, is just to show you what you can come across in your pocket, your sock, your knapsack, top of your top hat if you wear one of those, whatever you keep your money in. You're usually going to notice a little bit of blurring of the black ink in between Federal Reserve note on $1 bills. That's really normal. It's just from the printing process. Good clump of 2s in the center here. And I get a lot of questions and comments about that. Hey, I found this bill. It has 3 or 4 the same number together. Those are block repeaters, but if it's going to be an actual block repeater, you want it to be across the whole serial number. So these other random digits around keep it from being a fancy serial number. And that's what most people like to collect, aside from errors, is serial numbers that have birthdays in them, historically important dates, both, historically and then to them as a person, like their marriage or anniversary date, stuff like that. Birthday notes are very popular. Also, stuff like if it had July 4th, 1776, stuff like that can be worth far more than the face value of the note, simply because of the pattern in the serial number. We're also looking for patterns like ones that can be read forward to backward, backward to forward, which are radar notes. We're looking for ones that can be read right side up and upside down, broken ladders, and also ones that are in order. So like 0 to 7 or 0 to 8. Stuff like that. Another clump of 4s, or digits, but 4s. This is a much more beat up $1 bill. It's 2013, so it's been around for a bit. United States $1 banknotes have a much shorter lifespan than any of their counterparts, other denominations of notes, simply because $1 bills, as you would think, are used more commonly than any other bill. Got a little stray ink mark from the serial number because it's the same type of ink, that green ink there. So it actually is a misprint or a kind of smeared ink, but it's not prevalent enough for me to jump for joy about or set aside, really. But if this was actually larger and obscuring this corner, it would be an error note for sure, but something to keep an eye out for. Nothing there. Now we're down to the last 2. Nothing in the serial number on this 2013 note. Let's look at the back. This looks to be ballpoint pen. Why do I think that, you ask? Great question. Because if you look at the sheen of the black, you can tell it's not any sort of the tone of the ink that's used in the printing. It's much different than the darker portions of this bill. So you can tell that it happened post-production. Somebody wrote on the bill or just spilled something on the bill and it stuck. So, unfortunately, that's not an error. I don't know what's going on with this thing. We got some writing on it. Nothing jumping out on the back of the note. You can kind of see what I mentioned earlier in the video about how the rest of this bill is starting to fade out, but the seals and serial numbers are nice and bright. That kind of throws back to what I said about the printing process. What is this writing? Letitia Lee, 716. Well, Letitia, it has made its way all the way to here. I love, I love finding notes with little notes on them. I'm going to add this one to where'sgeorge.com. Hopefully they did too, so that way we can track the travel of this bill as it continues its life in circulation. It's a 2006 series note, so I wonder if they did do it on Where's George. A lot of school projects do that. I've seen people write their names on it or stamp it with a Where's George stamp to kind of chronicle where the bill has been. So I'm going to hold on to that and put it into Where's George, and hopefully Letitia did too. And what did we hold on to? We held on to Letitia's signed note, so I appreciate that. Hopefully, well, maybe she'll check it. You know, who knows? We'll find out if it's been anywhere else, if it is online. If not, we'll start the paper trail, so to speak. And then we held on to what I think is more the better find in this video, which is a small stuck digit 2 on this 2013 series $1 note. It's a minor one, but a good example of a small error in the serial number or fancy serial number, and something to keep an eye out for more prevalent versions of it. But let me know what you've come across in your bill and coin searches lately in the comments below. And let me know what you are looking out for when you search through your pocket change, as well as any questions you may have. I will see you in the comments below, and I will see you in the next video.